Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
I'm here. I'm Jason DeRoss.
Oh, yeah, killing it. It's Friday, finally. Finally, the end of the week has graced us, and I'm just so excited.
Fuck yeah, Friday.
It is Friday. Shayla says her work computer is installing updates at 0%, so she's here and ready to party, and that's what we want. We want the computers to not work. Goddamn.
Yeah, but she's here, so it's working a bit. New shirt.
No, me? Very old shirt.
Very old shirt, renewed.
Spring has sprung. We are in my, gym teacher windbreaker, and we are here. We are thriving.
Is that what that is? Is it a windbreaker?
Yeah, it's basically a windbreaker. It's my grandmother's. It's really quite the vibe.
Beautiful.
Sitting here, it's not really giving the service that I needed to do. It's not working for me in the way that I need. But Shayla says she's living for the embroidery, and I shall land.
Hell yeah. Cindy
wants to know about your background, and I certainly want to know too. Anytime Jason makes some bold choices, I always like to know what's going on.
Well, the fan was on my head last time, and it was very obvious I was in my bedroom. So easy partition blocks it all off.
Are we loving the partition? Let us know. If you're
you said Cindy's asking about it. Cindy wasn't asking about it. Cindy literally said, "Ooh, I'm loving the background, Jay." So I think she is into it.
No, I'm not saying no one's not into it. This is the Jason DeRoss of it all. Everyone hates everything and everyone thinks it's bad.
No, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's, I just like when you're like, I'll fix this. And, here comes this like elaborate partition I didn't know you owned. And it's a nice little surprise.
We did own it. You know why we owned it? Because we lived in a house where we were sleeping in our kitchen under a ceiling fan. So we had a partition that made it feel like, hey, maybe this is kind of a room.
Oh, so people would come into your apartment and just see a massive partition and you'd be like, don't look into that alcove. That's where we sleep.
Well, they wouldn't see in the alcove because the beautiful partition. Right. And when I say beautiful partition, this thing.
No, I love that. I just know that if I was any sort of like house guest, I would be like, what's behind that?
Well, I mean, the house guests we had were people we knew that they were very aware of the situation. They'd be like, okay.
I think I would ask it every time I entered. I'd be like, and what is that again? What's behind that again? The dining room, bedroom? Okay. And I can't even judge. I mean, I lived above a sex shop and I had just a big square, just an open square plan.
It was beautiful. It was kind of nice up there.
It wasn't in any capacity, but thank you so much. And Jenny says, I hope Charlie does some art on that partition. She hopes it ends up on there.
I think because in my last place, we had on the wall, I had a couple pictures up before that Charlie drew.
I know exactly what Jenny's referencing. Yeah.
I also, now that I think about it, I'm wondering if I drew one of those pictures.
I mean, maybe you did. Maybe you did.
Yeah.
Maybe you did. So we are here on Friday. I'm so excited. The weekend is here. The weather couldn't be nicer. It's just such a we're in lockdown almost indefinitely now in Ontario. It's till June 2nd, but I'm sure it'll get moved.
I was about to say, is there a deadline? I didn't know June 2nd.
June 2nd is what I'm hearing. Forever is what I'm feeling. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, because over here they're like, hey, you've got vaccinated, go do everything now. So we'll see how that pans. I think that's great, but also cautiously optimistic. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think if I was fully vaxxed and people were like, get out there, I'd get out there.
Oh, I am going out there. I went to a baseball game this week.
That's amazing.
Hello.
What was that like?
It was, you know what? It was the weirdest thing because I didn't care that I was at the baseball game because I'm not a huge baseball fan anyways, but just hanging out. I went with a couple friends. We went to a patio first, which I was like, this is crazy.
That's nice.
I had my first pint in who knows how long. And then I was like, oh yeah, pints, they make you feel weird afterwards. I only had one, but you have a pint and you're like, well, those taps might not have been the cleanest. So
oh yeah.
We good. But I don't know, felt amazing just being out. We had to Uber at one point and I was like, all it is regular. It was regular life a year ago. And now it's, what the hell's going on?
No, totally. No, it's nice that you're getting back at it. Cause I definitely, would be. So I'm not when people are like, I was talking about this with some friends and And just like people being like, can you believe we blew on birthday cakes? And I was like, I'm working towards that.
I'm gonna blow on my birthday cake this year.
Yeah. So it's like, let's not pretend, I'm going to go nuts when I'm allowed to.
Yeah, and they're also saying like, because now Bill Maher and some of the Yankees, they're like, oh, they've got COVID and they've all been vaccinated. But the thing is, like, none of them have symptoms. So I'm like, oh, is that the vaccine working? They're like, yeah, they've got it, but their body's fighting it off.
Yeah.
So it's like, it
like
sounds
the
like
flu,
good
right?
news. Yeah, it sounds like it's good news.
Oh, that they have COVID? It sounds like it's good news.
Well, it sounds like it's good news that it's like that they have COVID, but they're not feeling symptoms.
I'm just
like,
powdering.
that's the way it
too
should be.
shiny. It's a lot of shine. Yeah, no, it's great. I'm excited. I'm hoping for the second round of vaccinations in Ontario. It's really rolling out slow. A friend of mine just got fully vaccinated, which is super exciting.
Well, isn't that friend of the pod, Pat?
Patrick Murray, regular pop aficionado. He got fully back, so I'm really excited for Patrick. So
congratulations, Patrick.
Congratulations. So that is what is going on. So do you have any like huge weekend plans now?
Oh, this weekend, no. No. I wish I did, but I don't because we have I work a bit on the weekends and stuff. So weekends aren't really the weekends.
What do you mean?
I teach on the weekends. So
fun
times.
But is it nice to know that like maybe soon in LA you guys will be in one room together?
Yes, and it's what we're working towards right now. So like the partition is separating you from a whole house still where furniture is like half created at this point. I didn't remember how long moving actually takes, especially when like I'm not one to call friends and be like, come on over and help me out. Although I'm one to call friends but I feel bad. So I'm putting everything together sort of myself, which is kind of fun. But
you can have friends over to help you and everyone's vaccinated, but you're still not asking for help?
I don't know, because I do it at like midnight. I'll be like, okay, cool. I'm going to put this table together now. Like I'll just throw on like a pod and it's kind of Zen-ish, like it's meditative a little bit. You're just like IKEA furniture is like, okay.
So is it like, are you trying to be like the IKEA elf where like your wife wakes up and everything's done?
Yeah.
Wow. That tracks. I always like putting together IKEA furniture. I mean, it's super, super hard and frustrating, but I do enjoy it. Amanda is just popping in to say her grandmother is getting ready to come home from the nursing home tomorrow. So she just wanted to pop in and say hello while she goes back to prep. And congratulations, Amanda. That's super exciting stuff.
Yeah, man. The world's coming back, it feels like a little bit. I know you just said the opposite, but like it feels like an eternity. But I can only believe you're just in the last bit of that stretch in Ontario, and hopefully like within a month you guys are like good.
I can't hear what you're saying to me and I can't let it land. So, but thank you for your well wishes. But we do have some exciting and bittersweet news about the pod. Speaking of things getting back to normal. So we have loved this last year. We're not ending the podcast, just to let you know. I know my tone sounds that way, but
we're great friends.
We're on the brink. It's done now. We've been doing this podcast like literally, as you know, and you've been following us like every day, and then I went to 3 a day. And now with things opening up for some of us more than others, we feel like it's probably the best to now go to once a week.
Once a week. It's like I sat there for a second waiting for a reaction. Ooh.
Yeah. So we have decided to do live on Fridays. So we'll do like a big Friday like live stream. We'll all connect during the week. With the Patreon, we are going to be doing extra podcasts behind there.
Behind the drapes.
Behind the drapes. So if you feel so inclined and you want a little bit more regulars throughout your week, you can join us. We'll be doing stuff behind the Patreon. But yes, we'll be going live on Fridays now. Same time. And really just like popping off for the weekend,
I'm ready to explode on Fridays. You know what I mean? It's going to be fun is what it's going to happen.
Oh, it wasn't fun before, he says.
I think you always told me, you're like, you seem to love Fridays the best. So like, it's not that I wasn't having fun. I just love Friday. Hey man, you gotta love Fridays.
Yeah. So it is sad. It's boo.ca, but we will be doing stuff on the Patreon. And that doesn't mean that like we are not going to be creating stuff. I have some new things I'm wanting to do. So we'll be throwing that on the YouTubes for you to try and enjoy and try on for size. What?
Yeah, I love it.
Crystal, I knew this day would come, but I'm not ready. We're not ready either. But yeah,
It is bittersweet for sure.
Yeah. But well, that means that Fridays will be a massive celebration.
Yeah, big time.
And it's a big party on Fridays. Shayla's super sad, especially because normalcy feels so far away. I agree. Normalcy does not feel so close to us. But the Patreon will be giving you some goods. Jenny says sad, but happy that you'll be exploring other things and we can still all party on Fridays. And Jen, sad, but also it is so much easier for me to schedule around Friday live pods than any other day. You know what, Jen? We did it for you.
Yeah.
We made it easier for you. And Fridays, we promise, will be epic. And please bring your
like Megan
robes.
said, Fridays will be huge.
Yeah, so we're really excited. And like I said again, just to reiterate, stuff will be going on the Patreon. So we still will be doing some comedy shows, extra podcasts, and trying some new collaborations. And now Jenny says my productivity is going to be way up.
Monday and Wednesday.
Which is amazing. And Melissa says this is easier for her. So you know what? We'll all just be partying away, but you will be, but it'll, we'll be missed. And Jason's frozen in.
You froze for me in like the fun. Well, I think if you would have saw the picture, you'd been like, take that down, please.
Right. Yeah. Did you take the picture?
No, I don't. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
So there's some huge news that has gone on that I would love to unpack. Some of it is pop culture based.
There's a lot, yeah.
There's a lot. So we've got we tackled it a bit in the solo pod on Wednesday where Jason had severe FOMO. Did you survive? Was it okay?
Yeah, I did. And yep, the electrician or the maintenance guy or whatever came, and we had a solid productive day of getting the house in order.
What did an electrician need to do with you?
I just said the word electrician. He wasn't anything to do with electricity because I didn't know how to explain. Like he's the maintenance guy that comes in. But if I just would have said the word maintenance, it would have been easier, I guess.
Well, what was really funny was like Jason was like, hey, I'm going to pop in. And I was like, well, you don't have to, like you're moving. I'm just doing this. And then all of a sudden I get a message in our chat between Jason and I, who's like, I can't, I have a maintenance man. It's like, you weren't supposed to in the first place.
Yes, but I had told you like minutes before, I'm like, okay, well now that I know what's happening, I'm going to come in. And then I was like, well, now if I don't come in, that makes me worse. So I was like, I'll just let you know why I'm not coming.
No, but that's really interesting.
Just keeping you informed. Just,
No, I know, but it's just one of those things, when you put on yourself where you're like, well, if I don't do this thing, like everyone's going to be really upset about it. And then no one cares. And you're like, why did I stress out so much? Like nobody cared.
That sounds like the speech that's going to be given at my funeral.
Oh, because you're going to die of stress and everyone's going to be like, why was he freaking out?
And then it's like, and now he's not here. And doesn't he just realize no one cares? Like it was fun while you were here and now it's over. So now the next people get to write their book.
No,
like,
I think you'll be on your deathbed and you'll be like I didn't need to, I didn't need to stress about all these things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know. My dreams are nightmares because my mind's always in that place.
Your dreams are certainly nightmares. Well, what I feel bad for because like as your friend, what's really funny. I'm just laughing because Cindy said Stacey kicking Jason out of the pod was pretty hilarious. Well, I just was like, it will be here. It's okay. You need to go and move. This will be here when you get back. No, but what's funny is like watching you as my friend who I love and adore and everyone thinks is just truly top of the top. We just watch you stress when we're all like,
all the time.
Why is he stressing? Like nobody cares.
I know.
Like not to be rude about it, but it's like, what breaks my heart is like you're up at midnight building a table that no one asked you to do by yourself. And then when everyone wakes up and notices the table's done, I hope they give you what you need because I don't
need
if
anything for it.
Okay.
And the table didn't get built. You know, the chairs are done. The chairs took longer than I
Well,
thought.
you know what I mean? But it's like, I just see you like I just imagine if my partner did that and I woke up and it was like the table and chairs were done, I'd be like, great.
Put your plate on it, start eating breakfast.
Yeah. And they're just like,
But I'm not looking for that reaction. I'm not looking
okay,
for, I'm just
I'm
like,
glad you're not, because that's my worry is like you do all these things in the
no,
dark.
that kind of stuff. I think that's different than the stuff you're talking about, like this, the secrecy stuff that I do just because I'm like, we are still doing stuff all day together, but like, I'm just like, and rather than go to bed, I'm like, I'm just going to keep pushing through. It's kind of meditative. Right. It's kind of like, you're just in the zone of
it's
like,
enjoyable
whatever.
to make it. But I just think that's a metaphor for a lot of the things that you do.
Probably.
Where it's like, I'll go off and do this and then surprise them with it being done. And then it's just like, oh, great, it's done.
In my move, I found a page that was like, I think I got it given to me one time of like cognitive disorders. And I think.
Get it? Let's go through them.
Well, I only say it because you brought this up. But like I didn't come prepared, so I don't know. In my moving, like there's shit all over the place, so I don't have it at hand. But right. I can bring that next time and be like, I can read it off to you, and you're gonna go. It's just a checklist of your personality, is all it is. So it's like, great.
Right. Oh, and like everyone has that. Like I just had therapy yesterday, and like I just think again. It is obviously a privilege to have a therapist, and it is expensive and all of that. But if you can find a way to find a reasonable therapist, I highly recommend. And also, Claire, just joined the chat, and she's like, "This background is an improvement over the fan coming out of Jason's head." Claire, you've 100%. Missed so much. Really, you're validating Jason in the best way. But like talking to my therapist about like just the behaviors that you create as a child that you then spin and do. Even as an adult, is interesting.
Well, because those are formative years. Like your brain starts to be like, great, this is what life is. So it's like, oh yes. Yeah, this is what. So then you grow up and you're like, everybody has their own perspective. Everyone walks around with their own sort of whatever filter on. But you all got that from your experiences and what you were doing growing up and certain things. So like you're like, oh no, life's this. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it was like, I grew up in chaos, but then I don't like it. I like control, because then I'm like, oh, well, at least I can like navigate it. Mm-hmm. But then as an adult, you're just like, you're just like, I'll do it. I'll fix it. This is done. Everyone chill out, know? And you're like, you can't do that. Can't sustain. Shayla says, I signed up for counseling through my work assistance program, had 2 sessions, and then she was like, so they want us to just give you methods to handle things on your own. Well, that stinks,
It sounds, on paper, that sounds great, but it just sounds like 2 sessions, no. But like giving you ways to go handle things on your own, great. But it doesn't mean stop, come see me. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak from my I think it was my friend. I think it was a friend of mine. I can't remember who said this to me, and I always forget. But it's like people find themselves in therapy or in counseling through chaos or trauma or an event. Like they're usually not like feeling great,
Right.
And then when you start kind of gaining awareness or control, then people feel like they don't need to go anymore.
And that's probably when you still need to go.
That is the moment you need to start going. Because I remember I started with my current therapist a few years ago in complete disarray emotionally, and was able to navigate that with her assistance. And now kind of gaining control and sort of getting perspective. I feel like now the real work, the real undoing, unlearning, validating work is really starting to happen.
And that's awesome. It's great that you can see results. That's, it's weird because if you go to a doctor, you're like, look, my arm hurts. It's right here. I can point to it and it's broken. And you're like, oh, okay, great. And that's what my problem is. Cause you go to these places and you're like, I don't know. What do you want me to do? Just talk to you? And then my one experience with my therapist was like, yeah, but then I didn't see result. Although other people told me, including yourself, was like, no, you seem like you're actually a little more mentally healthy.
So why didn't you let that land? What was the aversion?
I did let that land, and I did continue to go, but then I moved, and I haven't, which was 3 years ago, so not an excuse. But then I just didn't seek out a new therapist down here.
And I think again, what we're talking about is not easy for people to have access to. It's really complicated. I was really lucky that I had people that worked in the healthcare profession that were able to say, like, here are some therapists on a sliding scale that can
Right.
offer varying pricing for your, whatever. But it has changed my life for the better. I truly feel like it is a must for people, because how often do you feel really heard? How often do you really just say how you're feeling and like the shitty thoughts that go through your head? It's like everyone deserves a platform to just like let it out.
Yeah, I think I'd be in the therapist's office being like, who are you going to tell about this? You're going to tell everybody. You're going to tell everybody about my stuff.
No, they're not.
I got to go.
I also think people need to be like really choosy. It's like dating. Like when I went through a few consultations and I was like, no. And then I found my therapist and I was like, I just felt a connection. You can't really describe it.
It's a little chicken and the egg scenario for me, because like one of my things that I do is like, and I know this about myself, like to disappoint someone is pretty crushing for me, to the point of like, I didn't go through the process you went through. I saw a therapist and I was like, well, if I don't use her, she's going to be, I got to use her. I have to, I had her now. I can't tell her no. She's my therapist now. I did that with haircuts and everything else. So like,
yeah, but I think it's like when you're ready. Like I remember sitting down, I don't even know if this is interesting conversation, but I just remember sitting down with my therapist and there was just a connection with her. And I just sat down and like said exactly how I felt like I was in my life, where my relationship felt, where I felt, how I felt emotionally. I just said it all. Like I didn't give myself an out. So it's awesome. Like for you, it's like, it would be fantastic for you to go like, I don't want to disappoint you. So even though I don't know if this is going to work out, I might be stuck with you.
Hey man, that's a great leading line.
But it is. They're not going to be offended. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, yes and no. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I know you're right. My brain would still be like, well, she's going to be disappointed. How dare you say that?
They don't care. They do not care. It's like someone going like, you're a cashier at like a grocery store and someone's like, sorry, I'm not using you. It's like, I don't give a shit, Barbara. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Like moving on. Moving along.
That bag boy being like, why? What's wrong with, why is he using Sarah? What's Sarah got that I don't got? I bag groceries really well. What the fuck's happening over here?
Well, Claire says, Cindy says, I've been considering therapy to deconstruct thought patterns. Highly say go for it, jump into it. It is so helpful. Claire, also just talking to someone that is not involved in your life is fantastic. I agree. It's just like the benefit of someone being completely unbiased, Yeah.
No, I got it. I know it's good. I know like when I went, it was great. It's definitely, I'm not.
Shayla says she's with you. That would be her.
Yeah. So we got problems.
No, we don't have problems. You have patterning, right? And it's like, that's just something. And it's like, if you want to push past that, like a huge opener for me, like a light bulb moment was like, is this a me thing or is this a you thing? Like we all have, we have like wounds in a way, like things that really make us, how people might describe overreact, or you're like, we become sensitive, which is like, these are not great terms, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good to acknowledge like, oh, I'm having a strong reaction because this patterning. And then I feel like it helps you communicate.
Yeah. That's the goal. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Self-awareness, like having that self-awareness. And I'm not saying I'm fixed. My God, my God. Let me tell you.
Stacey gets up in the middle of every room. I've had therapy. I'm fixed. So I'm right. All you fuckers this is what's going to happen right now.
No, I mean, it's interesting to go to therapy and go like, oh, every day doesn't need to be a battle. Like not everyone's trying to hurt me. I can relax.
Yeah. Wake up with mental armor on every day. Okay, good. Battle.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just brought up to be like, you're going to get incinerated. The bullies have so much ammo. And I'm like, they do? Oh my God.
I better build a crossbow.
Yeah. And it's like, you go out there, you show them who's who. And I was like, all right. So then it's just like, Speaking of which, So yesterday I was like doing some errands and I was walking home, and a friend of mine from grade school
Whoa, okay.
was getting an ice cream with their partner, and she was like, "Stacy, hi," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And we just started talking and catching up, and she was like, "We just moved, and you won't believe what I found." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "The bus patroller pin from camp." And I was like, "Oh my god!" Because she said to her partner, "Like, this is Stacy. Like, you know,
We went to bus patroller camp together.
we played soccer together. We went to bus patroller camp together." And I go, "It's so crazy you said that," because I was talking about it on my podcast, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is that?" She goes, "I think I even have a picture of you and I from bus patroller camp." And I said, "You find that, and then you send that to me."
Meanwhile, the entire time her partner was like, "What's bus patroller camp?"
He literally goes, "What's bus patroller camp?" We both were like, "It's a camp for bus patrollers." And then we were both like, "We didn't want to go. We were sent there." But anyways, it was such a fun little like universe like meeting.
It's crazy because you guys are in lockdown, but the way you describe that story, I'm like, it sounds very sunny out and they're out getting ice cream. I'm like, oh, this sounds like a really open city, like party, party, party. Let's go.
Yeah, Jay. Well, you kind of have to just peel the onion a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was running errands and someone was getting ice cream, and Jason's like, "Boo!"
That sounds great. I'm coming to Ontario.
Yeah, absolutely not. Jen says, I always thought I was an extrovert, and my therapist was like, "You're an extroverted introvert," and it changed my life completely. I was able to stop performing when in public. I've never felt so seen. Absolutely.
Perform at work, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course.
We have to. That's what we're paid to do, is perform at work. So we kind of.
I often describe like when I'm out in public, and I've said this before, but because like I perform, people, and I am really loud. But it's interesting how people handle anxiety. So for me, I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't know anyone here. I'm uncomfortable. And then I just find myself like screaming in the back of my mind. So I'm just like, like just trying to survive.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Claire wants to know, did everyone at Bus Patroller Camp have your same personality? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I really brought in energy, let me tell you.
It does
Just
feel
doing
like
bits.
there are camps like that it would be like everybody kind of like has the same personality, because bus control is like a thing of authority. So it's like, okay, cool. Everyone going to this is a bit more authoritative, but I guess that wasn't the case.
I think my like authoritative vibe and energy is out of full protection, because it's like, I didn't have the most supportive like environment. And so, I was taught not valuable lessons of like, you put out your shit first. So like no one has it on you. It's kind of like this in the same way.
Yeah. Mom spaghetti, right?
Like you got to mom spaghetti it, but like also no one's the truth is no one's thinking about those things, So like I remember being like in grade school. What?
I want to do the parody of Eminem where he goes too far and just starts ripping into himself until he's like, people are like, I didn't even know that about you. I wasn't even going to rip into you about that. And you're just like, and I fucking do this. And I fucking do this. And you're like, is this even a rap battle anymore? Or are you just like...
Well, that's it, right? Like, that's my whole life. Is this even still a rap battle? Is like I would just put shit out there. Like, I remember vividly, like, talking about my body and my looks, like, before high school. Like, knowing I wasn't the pretty one, knowing I was never gonna like be desired or wanted. Like,
well, they say
this
that's partially why we get into comedy, right? Like, because it's a defense mechanism. I mean, I was always obviously the tiniest kid in my class, so it was like there has to be that
petit Jason.
You have to have a defense mechanism,
for sure. But
when you're this guy,
what's interesting when you're, I mean, hello.
That's grade 9. That's high school, and I look like I'm like in grade 3.
Yeah, and I looked 45.
It was the cigarettes hanging out of your mouth.
It was the
The
cigarettes
unlit
probably hanging out of
cigarette.
my. Just me. Hello. Yeah, no, but it's like it's interesting now as an adult where you're like, oh, like I don't need to be like that. I don't
Hmm.
need to like put my stuff out there with the intention of like now you don't have ammo
Yeah.
on me, you know?
Yeah, because some of that stuff, it's like they say about like job interviews or a performance or something. They're like, don't you shit on yourself because you're seeing stuff that people didn't even necessarily see. And it's like,
And I feel like it's a big Canadian thing. I mean, like I remember being in LA and like the way that I talked about myself or the way I talked about situations, like Americans don't think that way. Like there's no self-deprecation, which I just find very odd sometimes.
oh wow,
What?
that's an interesting take.
You've never thought that? No one's really self-deprecating.
I think that as comedians, you tend to be like, but you're right. Like I never thought.
No,
I
what
just
are you
never thought.
talking about?
I don't know.
Like in the situations where we have been auditioning or whatever with like American counterparts, it's like the
Oh yeah,
confidence
I
is
know what you're
very
saying
much
now. Yeah,
there and we're just like happy to be there kind of thing. And
yeah, that's true.
not to say one side is better than the other, but like we're just so it's I think it's the same in like the UK. It's just like this weird like, ooh, I don't want the or
Right.
don't worry about me kind of thing.
That's weird because like that. I don't know if there's a connection here, but like that the states is so capitalistic and like whatever and hates the word socialism. It's like, oh, it's not about other people. It's about like you have to fight for yourself. Like you got to
Yeah.
fight for yourself, and maybe that's part of it.
Oh, totally. Like, and again, it's not bad. It's like,
No, it's a different train
yeah,
of thought.
because
So
even now it's like I catch myself if I get an opportunity and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, oh, I haven't done that in a while. Should I? And then you have to remind yourself like someone half as capable would have taken that opportunity, but it's like you feel like you can't or you shan't, you know? Yeah.
yeah, I love this. The confidence
What?
of some of these LA influencers is confusing. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
100%. You know what is crazy though? This is like a complete spin, but so I was on Instagram taking like those model shots. And
yes,
please, if you haven't checked them out, I mean, give a little thirst monster. It's glass of water here. Hello, hello. But anyways, a company reached out to me.
awesome. See, you just make it true. You just make it true, and it
Exactly.
comes. It
But
comes.
it was a vibrator company, which I was like, great. But they were like, but it was interesting because they wanted to like, they're like, we'll pay you. And I was like, okay, like send me some product. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, we want to pay you like, it was basically like $12.
Yeah, you're the
Like,
second person in the last 2 days that have had that exact same experience.
yeah, it was so funny. Like Shayla says, get those brand collabs. But that's what it is. It's like the influencer market is like it's so easy to break into. It's just consistency and thirstiness. That's all. And
Yeah.
it's not easy. Like I don't think an influencer's job is easy. Like it's
No, it's a
time-consuming.
dedication to do that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as like you could be swinging a miss. You could do it forever and like be like, okay, cool. Here's my $96. Awesome.
Yeah, totally. Anyways, I'm just saying like a few, mid 30 thirst traps and I could be making $12 with
Like
free product,
this.
baby.
Like
This.
Oh, just 82
What?
posts about your vibrators? Okay, no problem. No
12
problem.
bucks. Yeah. Yeah.
We did jump away from like we jumped into like, oh my God, so much has happened. And then we kind of really got into the therapy talk of it all. But
Well,
so
that
much
shows you where Jason's at emotionally. We talked about that therapy stuff, a piece of trash, garbage hellhole that I never want to talk about ever again.
Yeah. No, but we did say like there's so much new because a lot has happened. I know that you addressed a bunch of it with on regular pop with Patrick, but
Yes, but there's
some of
new
it-
stuff that's come out.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we have Jen and Ben, and they're back together apparently. Now, we talked about this yesterday on the pod, but I'm happy to unpack it if you know any new information.
Oh, I don't know new information about that. I was more into like the John Mulaney, Olivia Munn stuff.
I thought you might just have that. So John Mulaney, they revealed they just got divorced, right?
Yeah.
But we all know they've probably been separated for a really long time.
Well, especially if he's already out there dating. Yeah.
And to that I say, damn, because that is a gorgeous couple. John Mulaney and Olivia Munn. And here's the thing.
Well, you've had a thing for John Mulaney for a long time.
I mean, I don't know if okay, let me break down my attraction to John Mulaney, because John Mulaney is like an exasperated ant. You know what I mean? Like John Mulaney is has a chaotic a woman grasping her pearls sort of energy that like he's always like, oh my God, like, hello, nice of you to show up 10 minutes late. Oh God, like he's very falling on a chaise. So I've never found myself like so attracted, but I think his confidence in comedy makes me very attracted to him, which is the problem that all comedic males are attractive.
Right.
They just are.
He just feels like a Kennedy in a weird way, but like a goofball Kennedy.
So I am not surprised that he's dating truly one of the most gorgeous women, Olivia Munn.
Yeah. It's just, did Olivia Munn just recently date Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
See, that's the whole thing. Like I saw that and it was like, the headline I saw was like, from Rodgers to Mulaney. I was like, if I woke up and saw that, I'd be like, I'm done.
Well, it's so
you were
fucking,
dating one of the best pro football players of all time? Okay.
It's so fucking disrespectful to her too. Like
totally.
Truly media, fuck right off with you saying, what, going to this guy, oh, who's a whore? It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What about John Mulaney getting divorced and being spotted with another woman? Everyone's like, oh, no one's like this whore over here. You know what I mean?
Well, who just went through that? Like who just divorced? Oh, this happened very recently.
I don't know.
What's
Let's
her
just
name?
think of any woman in the media.
No, but oh my God. Not Leslie Mann, but I can't remember who it is now. Who just started dating someone very, very recently? We talked about it.
Who is someone who just started dating someone recently?
We spoke about like only a couple of weeks. Olivia
Wilde. Oh my God. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you. She knew.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got to get better.
That's what it was. Jason Sudeikis in that. But I mean, like same thing. They were like, oh, she started dating right away. And it was kind of like.
Good. I'm glad.
100%.
Here's the thing. It's like after, like, we've all broken up with someone. Okay. When you break up with someone or a relationship
I haven't told any of my people that. They'll think we're still dating.
I actually would believe that. That's actually not even a joke. But when we're in a relationship that's not working, like there's no romance, you hate each other, you're walking around on eggshells and you're roommates. So when people judge, when it's like, oh, don't you think Lisa's moved on really quickly? Good. I'm glad she did. I hope Lisa doesn't lock it down. I hope Lisa goes to the buffet. Yeah. But I'm glad she grabbed a plate. And I'm glad she grabbed the plate quick.
Tapas, a little bit of tapas.
When you break up, and I was like, when Olivia Wilde, they were like with Harry Styles, it's like, that's not going to last, but I hope they're banging and I hope it's real. And I hope she gives us details afterwards.
Yeah. And and with the next one too.
And with the next one. And Jason Sudeikis, like, I'm here. Ring-a-ding. The line is open. And it's open. That's all
I fell in love a lot more. I fell in love a lot more with Jason Sudeikis after Ted Lasso, for sure.
Okay. I just want to pick up this comment and then I want to yell at you about Ted Lasso, if I can. So Jan goes, John Mulaney is like a puppet that became a real boy and 2 hours later went, no thanks. That is so John Mulaney.
He's the reverse Pinocchio trying to become a puppet again.
Oh my God, the work here. I have to validate my puppet master? In what world? Refund.
Yeah, John Mulaney.
There I am by myself, and I get brought alive because he wants a son, and now I have responsibilities? I don't think so. Okay, so this is my problem with Ted Lasso.
Okay.
I think it's a great show. Sure, it's a fine show. It is a man. Okay. It is a man unwilling to acknowledge his reality and unwilling to be emotionally communicative or intelligent. And do you know how many men love Ted Lasso as if this gives them permission to act like that?
Oh, I don't think.
No, it's because you feel seen in it, and that's a problem. Everyone's like, he's optimistic. I'm like,
No,
no, he's delusional.
no. That's not what I like about Ted Lasso. I like that
Okay.
there's a positivity to it, which is nice.
But how can there, in what? In what? How is there positivity in it? There's so
You can
many
say like
people unheard
the-
in it.
yes, but there's also like the funnest characters are all like that one. It's been a while since I watched it, so I don't remember his name. But like the person that they bring in eventually, that soccer player that just walks around and like is like, I love playing soccer. I'm like, yeah, I love that guy. Like this
Yeah,
is.
but he's not a real character. That's not a real human being.
You're right. He's not a layered character that I'm like I'm watching it to follow this narrative
But I
and be
think
like
that's
whatever.
why
But I'm
so many men love it, because like truly there is no layered characters. There's no nuance.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, I'm having a bad day, but you know what? Let's be positive. And everyone's like, yay.
But I don't know. There's some fun to it too. I to be honest, I didn't like it at first. I saw the first episode. I was like, I'm not gonna like this show. And then you watch like a couple episodes, you're like, oh, this is. I don't know. I was into it.
I just think Megan says it great. There's just a toxic positivity energy to it. And it's like at some point he needs to acknowledge his life and he needs to drop the facade, because that's what a human being would be. So I just found it really unrelatable. I was like,
but you can see past that, right? Like you see his sadness in that show. You
but
see
you
like
need an acknowledgement of it, just because you can kind of see it. But it's like,
I
he
like the
never
subtle
talk-
acknowledgement of it. Like when that other lady comes to his room and he's just like, this is happening. You're like, oh, you're sad.
Yeah,
You're
but why not
positive,
do
but
a
you're sad.
But the problem is there's no scene about it. So it's like this show is just like this very like, let's just keep it up.
Do you want to watch that? Watch Kidding. Then you'll see sad. You'll see a guy
Great.
getting ripped about it.
I don't care about Jim Carrey.
That shows how that got canceled. I have no idea. It's one of the it's so good.
I just think it's like, yeah, I just think I think it's a good show. I just think a lot of people really love it, and I'm just like,
I'm not
why?
on that. I'm not like way on board with it. It's like just but like of the shows that are like not network shows because it is a streaming show, but it's one of those shows that it's like it's not narrative based in the sense of like I need to find out what happens next. Oh my god, cliffhangers. It's just like brain dead. This is a fun show to just have on or whatever.
I just wanted a bit more nuance. I wanted someone. It's like Ted Lasso. It's like the house is on fire, and no one acknowledges the house is on fire. And so for me as a viewer, I need someone to go, "Oh, the house is on fire," and you go, "Okay, thank God we can acknowledge the house is on fire."
And then the father dies. Yeah.
Yeah, I just that Sudeikis character, and to think, I guess they were going kind of through that similarly as
That's the whole. Yeah, I think that was part of it for sure.
Yeah, it's just the not wanting to admit the non-acknowledgement. I'm just going to go home and make shortbread for my boss every day and keep it all classy and on the up and up. Mm-hmm. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just opportunity to maybe unpack some stuff.
But you
That's
still
a
have a love
lot.
for Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis is like legit so funny and so hot. Like, I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You know what I mean? And Jan wants to bring up the show Made for Love, which is with Ray Romano.
Yeah,
Who
I've never
is
seen
a
that
total
one.
smoke show in his later years.
Yeah, he started doing some serious stuff, right? Like he popped up in a couple movies that he's
I know,
like,
but
oh,
there's
this
just
is funny.
something about the salt and pepper and the glasses.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that show though. I don't even know about it. But
Oh, really? Well, now you got something. Now you got something to check out.
you bring up the salt and pepper. By the way, I also yesterday went for my first haircut since the pandemic.
Oh, wow. How did it go?
I don't know.
Do you want to show everybody?
I mean, this is it. The back's done properly by now, or else it's not. And then, you know,
There you go. Do you like it?
no. I was like, I did just a good job at home.
Where did you just like?
I just
go
found
to
a
random
place. Yeah, because I don't
Yeah.
have like a place here. I mean, I did, but it's by my old place.
I just realized I haven't had like a haircut in a year, and just like I usually get my hair colored, so it's like this is just my natural hair color that's just seeping into old color. My hair grows so slow.
Yeah, but that's for not a year. I'm actually surprised because it looks like you're straight out of the salon. You know.
Ooey, ooey. Okay, so let's get into Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. So I'm just looking this up on my phone. So it says Jennifer Lopez is in touch with Ben Affleck every day after reuniting in Montana. I, for some reason, don't think that this is a real. I think this is a publicity stunt.
For who? They're not. But
I think
like,
it
what are
pops
they
them in
doing
the news.
together? But what are
I
they
know.
doing? And not even together. But none of them have like projects coming out that I know of. Who knows? Maybe Ben
J-Lo
Affleck.
has a movie. J-Lo has a movie coming out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe like sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, right? And it's like maybe it is after 17 years. They're just like they saw each other and they're like,
It says
ooh, flame.
over the weekend, the exes were seen riding in a car together near a resort in Big Sky, where Affleck has a home. He was spotted behind the wheel with Lopez in the passenger seat. She spent several days with Ben out of town. People say they have a strong connection. It's all been quick and intense, but Jennifer is happy. I highly doubt this.
Because they don't have kids together, right? Like it's not a connection
No.
that way. It's just
And
like
it's like, were they staying in touch?
maybe.
I don't know. You wanted to talk about it, so it's like, what do you think about it?
Yeah. But that's is what I think about it. I'm like, I believe it. I think it's kind of like, it's kind of awesome if that's true.
How
It's
would
going to
they
be,
be
it'll probably be
connected? I just don't believe, like, how would they be connected? You think that they stayed in touch?
well, they're still people in the sense of like, we know them through their movies and their music and whatever else they're doing. So we don't see like, we don't know who they call in the middle of the night. We don't know like on a weekend, they're like, hey, what's going on?
Jan
You're
caught
like,
that. Sorry, I forgot to take your comment down. Is it weird that my comment is still up there? Yeah.
so like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, great. I mean, Batman and J-Lo, it's great.
Yeah.
I guess this is my Ted Lasso. I'm really not explaining much more than just I think it's if they're like awesome, then that's awesome.
No, it's interesting to talk to someone about pop culture who's like, if it's being reported, that's great. It's good to know that love is real. It's all real.
No, I'm not even. Look, I'm the first one that's skeptical about anything on TV. Like I know I have a hard time talking about the reality shows because I'm just like, no, well, it's all fucking bullshit. Everything behind the scenes is bullshit, and this could be very much
Yeah.
bullshit. But also, I'm also like, but it's crazy how we get like thrown a curveball and we're like, oh my God, is that actually happening? But it's like,
Totally.
if you think about like our group of friends and some of the people that have got together and you're like, oh, whoa, those guys got together. You're like, okay, but then it works. You're like, oh, okay, cool, man. Like,
Huh?
so I'm just saying like, even in real life, things happen sometimes and you're kind of surprised and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. And then,
Right.
so same thing with celebrities. It's like, we don't know their real lives. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I love people coming to the show late and being like, Jason, the backdrop. Also, Shayla wants to know where Voodoo is. We haven't seen him in a while in the Snake King. People are
worried.
MIA.
Voodoo's he's been in the Discord a little bit. I mean, not in the last couple days, but he's been there.
Right.
So,
Jeez, everyone's just really getting back, you know? It's all changing. Okay, so I did want to talk about a little something. And Jan, I know, is in the chat. So you have a competitor for your Milo.
I know. And you know what? He wins. I was like, this is killer job, birthday boy.
So Jan's amazing partner, Sheldon, he had a birthday, and to celebrate, he did a hunky shot. I was trying to steal it and put it on the stream, but then I was like, I should probably ask for permission. So if Jan says yes, then I'll put it up. But you have a competitor. He was in a parking lot. It was very shishi wee wee. How are you feeling about that?
He also, I love it. I think it's amazing. Sheldon's seemingly a really great guy. Like he's so fun.
Seemingly?
See, when I say seemingly, I'm like,
Oh my God, beef.
No, not a beef at all. That word was the wrong thing. I haven't had too many heart to hearts with Sheldon, but like the all the interactions that we have is like he's the best. I know Jan more than I know Sheldon, I guess is the way to put that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I don't know where this is going, but I hope this walk figures itself out.
All I'm saying is like I think Sheldon he does this. I'm like killing me. We did like, remember when people we did a video and like Sheldon had a few parts and I'm like, Sheldon's parts are the funniest parts and we're all fucking comedians trying our hardest and he just like sits in it and is like, well, that guy's hilarious.
Right.
So Love to Sheldon. If that came out wrong, then sorry, but like, I'd love to hang out more with Sheldon. That's what I mean by he's great.
This
He's
sounds
seemingly
like
great.
a full.
It's a long walk of like,
It's quite long, yeah. But Sheldon's just truly the best, and so happy. And Jan really has like just found a lovely, amazing partner. And we're so lucky we get to selfishly have him in our lives as well.
wants
So
it up.
here is the picture. I'm just gonna load it right now. It's so funny. It's a hunky shot, and I was really impressed. And I was like, "Where's Jan's version of it?" So look at that.
Oh, the filter too really makes him pop. I didn't realize that before.
I know.
But he did it. See, like same thing. He got the full outfit, not even just the vibe. He's like basically in this cut sleeves.
Look how jacked he looks.
Yeah. That's
Isn't
a
that
guy.
incredible?
Yes. It's like this guy you're in the parking lot, it's late at night, you're like, oh no. And you see that guy, I'm like, I'm a bit scared. But then he takes off his mask and you're like, oh, that's the nicest guy on the planet. This is great.
He looks like a strong man.
Yeah.
Look at his legs.
I feel like if he grabbed onto the two mirrors of those cars, he could just lift them up like they were toys back and forth. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. And you know what? Like, yeah. Cool. Unlike me, I'm still bringing this energy. But damn. And happy birthday, Sheldon. I mean, exactly. What a hunk. Jen says, I have to go to a meeting in 6 minutes with people that are always kind of mean and I don't want to go. You know what, Jen? Don't let it land. Get in there.
I'll tell you this right now, they're all watching this podcast as well. Now they know, and they're going to be like, oh, it's getting to her. Now we're going to pick on her a bit more. We're going to be meaner to get her.
Well, maybe this is a great thing of like, is this their thing? Or
Don't let the bullies bully.
Let them project and spiral away because you know who you are and you know what you're about. And that's all you need to know.
Yeah. Did you ever watch The Never Ending Story?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And you were disappointed with it?
No, it just didn't grab me like it grabbed you.
Oh, well, I watched it like 2 days ago with Charlie.
Yeah, it's pretty spooky, scary.
I
It's
didn't
like
realize.
Well, it's an 80s kid movie, so they're really like quite
They go for it.
risque. They go for it in the 80s.
But what I didn't know was, because I knew there was going to be parts that I'm like, oh, the fantastical stuff gets a little, there's scary parts to it. But it starts off with Dabney Coleman, which I didn't remember was in this, the father of the child that ends up reading the book. He starts it by going, hey, your mom's dead, but you got to get over it. You got to buck up. And I'm like, this is how the movie starts. I forgot that
Very
fully
80s.
and completely.
Yeah.
And then the reason why I bring it up is because then he gets these bullies chase him down and chuck him into a garbage can. And now I got to explain bullying to Charlie and be like, okay, well, this is.
Well,
what's
isn't that
going
a
on
great
here.
thing? I mean, he's going into school. I mean, he should.
Yeah,
know
it's totally
bullies.
great to do that, but it's just like, I don't know. Bullies are bullies, but I'm like, I don't know the right way to. This is as a father being like, I don't know the right way to teach what's right and what's wrong, and how to handle these things appropriately. But
you know what? Like, I took a real big page. People are talking about adult bullies in the chat, and we've all dealt with adult bullies, and we've all been adult bullies. But my nephew was being bullied, and his wise Oprah-like take on it. I was like, oh, I'm going to take a page out of this book in the way of like helping him navigate through this. And he was just like, I just think that they must be very sad.
yeah.
And I just was like, that's so prolific and true. And it's projection, right? But like, the thing about bullying for me, it's like, I don't have kids to teach them that, but like, it doesn't feel differently as you get older. It's not because you're a kid, it feels bad. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You feel the same. You feel like a child when you're being bullied, when you feel like everyone's talking about you or being mean to you or being mean at work or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's crazy that we grow up and we learn so many things and like you evolve in so many ways, you mature. But some of it is like, 30 years isn't that much on this planet. It's like it goes by and you're like, well, I still feel a lot of the same things I did 30 years ago, which is fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, because like, the high road sucks. I mean, like, I'm learning to take it and it fucking sucks. Every step of the way, the high road sucks. The high road sucks until a moment of clarity where it doesn't. And you go, oh man, that was worth it. It was worth it to save a relationship. It was worth it to like have respect at the end. It's worth it. Like, but let me tell you, no one really talks about how good it feels to be like, fuck off, Janet, fully get out of here. You just want to say that so bad. But yeah, I mean, you still feel the same.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And anyways, that movie was tough to watch. The horse dies at the beginning and fucking Charlie lost his mind. And then through the whole movie, he just kept talking about the horse.
Good. I feel like 80s movies and like 90s Disney movies, like they taught the hard lessons. Like, guess what, Littlefoot? Your mom's going to die. Bambi
Every Disney movie?
Killed.
Every Disney movie starts with mom dead. Almost every one. It's like, oh yeah, your mom's dead.
But do you feel like there's a hesitancy to like shield Charlie from those harmful feelings?
No, not at all. I love putting him in those situations. We're gonna watch more. I mean, the one problem that we have is like, are we doing this too quickly? Because we'll show him Jurassic Park and he cheers for the dinosaurs to eat people, and you're like, well, are we getting a serial killer out of this, or do we have to like talk about empathy or something?
You might want to talk about empathy.
We talk about it, but like because. Yeah, because he has he grew a love for dinosaurs at a very young age, which that's very common for kids. He was just like, they're winning, and you're like, yeah, but like people are getting eaten.
Yeah, but also, didn't we kill them?
The dinosaurs? No, the dinosaurs were dead well before human beings were on the planet.
I don't know. I think somebody showed up and was like, it's too hot in here. Is there like a thermostat? Let's turn it down.
We've just found out on the podcast finally after 1 year that Stacey is a science denier. This is where it's at.
Oh my God. I just remember as a kid having like religion explained to me and I was like, no, fake, not real. Water to wine. When? I don't think so. Mary Magdalene.
Well, that's not science. That's religion. That's
no, I'm not a
denial.
I'm not a science denier. I'm a science don't carer. Like climate change is real, but I leave that to the smart people to tell me what's up, and I'm like, I believe you. Thank you for doing the hard work. I'm not going to crack that book. Oh, can I tell you something? This is unrelated, and no one's going to believe me, like thinking that I want attention. But I need to tell you this because things are
evolving. I want to know.
evolving.
This is actually the most tense I've been in a long time. Pink
Bikini's back, right?
I saw that.
So Pink Bikini, okay, but I want to tell you right now, Pink Bikini has what I believe to be a partner, and I'm fucking shitting you not, wearing a bright pink shirt currently out there with pink bikini with a pink towel and her in a pink bathing suit top. I'm not lying to you, and I'm upset.
She was on Tinder, and the first question is like, so what's your favorite color? And if he says pink, it's like, we're in.
Now, this could be a roommate, this could be a friend, but currently everyone's wearing pink and they're out on the deck. And when you see something and you're like, it doesn't matter what I say, this sounds like a lie.
Do you know why this is a bad day for me? Because you talked about FOMO, and I'm like, yeah, because FOMO shouldn't matter. You don't miss anything. You go home early and you miss the party. But guess what? I missed that episode, and I missed the re-entry of Pink Bikini is what happened. So now my FOMO is real.
Well, here's the problem. I think I broke my cover because I was walking the dogs and I saw.
And you go, hi, Pink Bikini, you're on our podcast.
I audibly said, Pink Bikini. Like I yelled Pink Bikini. Like I was like, Pink Bikini is here. No,
you don't get it. You're a star.
You're a star, honey. You shine bright like a pink diamond. Ooh, who's your friend?
Pink shirt. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, pink shirt. So I'm just saying, like, they are revving up for a great summer.
As Kayla put it, she could be trolling us.
It could be snaking, absolutely. But it's just like, I feel like the signs of summer.
Yeah.
It
was just amazing.
Also, this is as we're coming to the end of today. I'm trying to figure out my hair. It's just not working today. It's good because I'm going to work out, so it needs to go up anyways. But
you're Pelotoning it. Okay, great.
I'm back. I'm getting shredded. It's time. It's really, really time now.
Sometimes your body just needs a break and you need to take an Adam Colley detour and chill out for a second and then go, okay, back on the road.
It's just this. I need this. But anyways, so a friend of mine has a new cocktail, and I thought because we're just going to Fridays that we could go and legitimately do some cocktails.
Yes, please.
So this is a beer cocktail.
Okay.
So it was like Miller High Life.
Okay.
Right?
I'm in.
So it would be like he would take the bottle, take a few sips, and then put in it Aperol.
I've seen this before. I've seen people do this where they dump out a bit of the bottle and then they start adding to the bottle.
They dump out? Who are those people?
That's true. TikTok people.
Oh, okay. Way to waste. Okay. Interesting. But like dumps it out and then puts a bit of Aperol in it. And so I thought,
it?
Yep. And
Okay.
it looked really delicious. And I thought, well, I'm going to do that next Friday, maybe for Catch Fry.
That's great. And I'm fully on board. With those types of cocktails, when I don't normally buy like Aperol, I always get to that point where you're like, okay, you need a dash of this. I'm like, do I find an alternative or do I suck it up and buy a whole bottle of Aperol?
You can get a small bottle of Aperol.
Yeah, I just mean more in general of like,
Why
you're
you
like,
can get a small one. Just get a little one.
yeah, of the Aperol. But like there's others. Yeah, I guess
There
so.
isn't other stuff. I just told you it's a 2-ingredient thing.
No, I'm talking about just in general when you're like, oh, I'm going to try this cocktail. And you're like, oh, I need vermouth. Okay,
Yeah, but you know what?
get this vermouth.
But there's so many small bottles of that because I think that like retailers are realizing. Like I was at the LCBO a few days ago, and there was a little bottle of Saint Germain, a little bottle of vermouth, a little bottle of even rosé, like Whispering Angel, like the really
I got some in my fridge.
just a little tiny bottle. Oh my God. Melissa just says beer and grapefruit vodka is bomb. I will tell you, we used to have a drink at Second City called the Hollywood, which was Nigel's, which was
his creation.
I mean, that would just knock you fully on your ass. And that was like Moosehead or whatever, a little bit of lemonade, vodka.
Yeah. And then in the early days of the comedy bar, there was the Ride Out special, the Heart Attack.
The Heart Attack.
When people were like, because it had like full Red Bulls in it as well as like 100 alcohols and everything else. It was like
I never did that.
Murder time. People would be like, I drank four. I drank four heart attacks. I drank 4 heart attacks. Okay.
Why? It's like, but did anyone ask you? You didn't need to. Yeah, but those Hollywoods. I remember I did a night where I drank 2 of those. Mm-hmm. Oof. What happened? What happened?
You wrote a show.
But yeah, maybe we'll do this Aperol one. I think that'd be fun.
Okay, that's awesome. Are we doing the same things? Or are we both bringing like something to the table, bringing fun cocktails to the table?
I just told you that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to go off and I'm not going to build the table at midnight. Okay. I would like everyone to participate. So
okay. Then that's all I'm asking. Do I go find a small bottle of Aperol now? That's what I'll go do.
Yeah. But where did you get unclear on that?
I was just saying, do you want me? All I was saying was, do you want me to bring the same thing? Do you want me to bring something else and be like, oh, cool, this is what I'm drinking. So we have 2 different things.
I have a feeling regardless that
I'll do
you're
it.
going to take some creative liberties and you're going to go, it's not as good as I think what you guys are drinking. And I foresee that, and that's okay.
I'll tell you what, I am going to a T, follow this for next Friday.
Okay.
What is it? Miller High Life? Is that the one that I got to get? To a T.
Well, I'll just look up the recipe and you can see. But you can do whatever you want.
Well, I don't know what the recipe is. Like, I know what you said.
They don't need to hear these logistics, but I like everyone to know that this is really what it's like.
Great.
Okay, everyone. So thank you for being so lovely about this schedule change. Again, if you want to check out our Patreon, we'll be doing some fun events there and some extra stuff. And anything else, Jay? We'll be back on Friday, which is super exciting. If you have topics and things that you want us to cover, send them our way and we will put them into a show. And anything else?
If you don't think I got dumb stories sitting and ready to go, you guys let
Jason
me know. You want dumb stories?
Always has dumb stories, but I feel like if we were to ask him right now, he'd go, "Oh, you're not. I didn't have time to prep. I don't know if they're good."
You want to do a little ding that's myself? I'm ready to rock all the time.
No. We will see you all next week. Have the best weekend. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Get vaxxed if you haven't. It's a fun experience. And we will see you all on Friday. Bye,
Bye.
pals.